지우야, 또 보네. 뭐 사러 왔어?
왔구나. 라면 사러 왔어. 이거 봐.
그게 뭐야?
이거? 불닭볶음면이야. 엄청 유명한 라면.
검은 바탕에 입에서 불이 나와. 진짜 매울 것 같아.
꽤 맵지? 근데 나는 이 정도는 얼마든지.
같이 사자. 몇 개 살 거야?
2개면 되겠지?
2개 사자.
Did you catch that? Maria called Jiwoo 지우야. 지우야. In Korean, when you call a close friend by name, you add something at the end. Maria added, ya. But here's something fascinating about Korean. Whether you add ya or a depends on the last sound of the name. No final consonant? Add ya. Has a final consonant? Add a. And the best way to learn this? Through names you already know. Let's try BTS. Jungkook ends with the consonant ug. So when you call him, Jungkooka. Jimin ends with in. So, Jimina. B ends with a vowel, no final consonant. So, Bia. Suga also ends with a vowel. Shugaya. Now go back and listen to your favorite K-pop interviews. You'll hear this everywhere. The members call each other this way all the time because they're close friends. That's why Maria called Jiwoo 지우야. They're close friends. And Jiwoo ends with a vowel, so yeah it is. One important thing. This casual style only works between people who are really close. Using ya with strangers, teachers, or people older than you is actually quite rude in Korean culture. How to address people you're not close with? That's a whole different system, and we'll dive into it in a future episode. So what exactly is Buldak Bokkeum Myeon? Let's break it down piece by piece. This is one of the most beautiful things about Korean. Words are often built from smaller, meaningful parts. Once you know the parts, you understand the whole. 불 means fire. Just one syllable, one meaning. 닭 means chicken. Again, one syllable. 볶음 means stir-fried. This one comes from the verb 볶다, to stir-fry over high heat. Myeon means noodle. You'll see this in many Korean food names. Now put them together. 불 plus 닭 plus 볶음 plus myeon. Fire, chicken, stir-fried, noodle. 불닭볶음 myeon. Fire, chicken, stir-fried noodle. The name tells you exactly what's coming. Spicy enough to feel like fire, made with chicken flavor, stir-fried in a wok, served as noodles. No mystery. Korean food names are wonderfully literal that way. And here's something fascinating. The word 불 isn't just for this ramen. You'll see it everywhere in Korean food and culture. 불고기, fire meat, the famous Korean barbecue. 불맛, fire flavor, that smoky, charred taste from high heat stir-frying. Once you know 불, you start recognizing it everywhere on Korean menus. That's the joy of learning Korean. Every word you learn unlocks several others. Buldak became a worldwide phenomenon through the Spicy Noodle Challenge. Over 1 million videos on YouTube of people testing their limits. If you've been on social media at all, you've probably seen them. Now you know the name actually means something. Now let's look at something Maria and Jiwoo said.
이거 봐.
그게 뭐야?
이거 봐 and 그게 뭐야? Jiwoo said, 이거 봐, meaning, look at this. Maria responded, 그게 뭐야? What is that? Notice something interesting? Jiwoo used 이거, meaning this. Maria used 그게, meaning that. Why the different words? Korean is incredibly precise about distance. The word you choose depends on where the object is in relation to the speakers. Let me break it down. Korean has 3 levels of distance, not 2 like English. 이거, this, the thing close to me, the speaker. 그거, that, the thing close to you, the listener. 저거, that over there, the thing far from both of us. So when Jiwoo held up the Buldak ramen, it was in his hand, close to him. He said, 이거 봐. Look at this thing in my hand. Maria saw the ramen near Jiwoo, not near herself, so she naturally said, 그게 뭐야? What is that thing near you? If the ramen had been on a shelf far from both of them, they would have used 저거, that one over there. This three-way system shows up everywhere in Korean. In conversations, in directions, in everyday speech. Once you start hearing it, you'll notice Koreans constantly mapping out space with these 3 words. One more thing, what you just heard, 이거, 그거, 저거. These are the casual spoken forms. The formal versions are 이것, 그것, 저것. You'll see 이것 in textbooks and formal writing. You'll hear 이거 in actual conversations, K-dramas, everyday Korean. Both are correct, just used in different situations. So next time you watch a K-drama, listen for these 3 words. Notice how characters point to things, refer to things, navigate the space around them. Korean speakers are constantly using this distance system without even thinking about it. Now you'll think about it too. And your Korean will sound much more natural for it.
진짜 매울 것 같아.
Maria says, 진짜 매울 것 같아. It looks really spicy. Let's focus on the ending. 매울 것 같아. The base word here is 맵다, meaning spicy. Not temperature hot, but chili pepper hot. The kind of spicy that makes your mouth burn. But Maria didn't say 맵다 directly. She added something. 것 같아. This is one of the most important patterns in modern Korean, and once you learn it, you'll hear it everywhere. 것 같다 softens a statement. It turns a direct claim into a guess, an opinion, a personal impression. Here's the difference. 맵다 means it is spicy, a flat statement of fact. 매울 것 같다 means it looks spicy, or I think it might be spicy, a soft prediction based on what I see. Maria is looking at the buldak package, the flames, the chicken with fire coming from its mouth. She hasn't tasted it yet, so she doesn't say, it is spicy. She says, I think it's gonna be spicy. This pattern is everywhere in modern Korean, especially among younger speakers. 맛있을 것 같아. I think it'll be delicious. 어려울 것 같아. I think it'll be difficult. 재미있을 것 같아. I think it'll be fun. Why is this pattern so popular? Korean culture values indirect speech. Saying, it is delicious, can sound too assertive, too final. Saying, I think it's delicious, leaves room for the listener's opinion. It's gentler, more polite, more relational. Now here's a fascinating cultural note. Older generations and Korean teachers sometimes criticize young people for overusing this pattern. They say it sounds wishy-washy, like you can't make up your mind.
맛있을 것 같아. 재미있을 것 같아. 어려울 것 같아.
But for young Koreans, it's just natural conversational style. Soft, considerate, open to dialogue. So when you use 것 같다, you're not just speaking Korean grammatically, you're participating in a particular cultural style, the relational speech of modern young Korea. Try it yourself. Next time you taste Korean food, instead of saying 맛있어, try 맛있는 것 같아. Notice how it feels. Slightly softer, slightly more open. That's the magic of this pattern. Same meaning, different feeling. And feeling is everything in Korean conversation.
2개면 되겠지?
2개 사자.
Jiwoo asks, 2개면 되겠지? 2 should be enough, right? Maria responds, 응, 2개 사자. Yeah, let's buy 2. Let's focus on those words, 2개. 2개, in English, you say 2 ramens, 2 apples, 2 books. Just add the number to the noun. But Korean works differently, you can't just say, 두 ramen, that sounds wrong. Instead, you need a special word between the number and what you're counting. That special word is called a counter. The counter Maria and Jiwoo used was 개. This is the most general counter in Korean, used for everyday objects and items. 하나 플러스 개, 한 개. One thing. 둘 플러스 개, 두 개. Two things. 셋 플러스 개, 세 개. Three things. Notice something interesting? The number changes form when it appears with a counter. 하나 becomes 한. 둘 becomes 두. 셋 becomes 세. This shortened form happens specifically when the number is followed by a counter. It's a small but important pattern. Once you learn it, you'll hear it constantly. Now here's where Korean gets fascinating. 개 is just one counter. Korean has many counters, each for a specific category of things. For people, you use myeong. 두 명, two people. For animals, you use 마리. 두 마리, two animals. For books, you use 권. 두 권, two books. For drinks and cups, you use 잔. 두 잔, two cups. Why so many counters? Korean culture pays attention to the category of what's being counted. People aren't just objects, animals aren't just things. Each category gets its own counter. This might feel overwhelming at first, but here's the good news, 개 is the safety net. When in doubt, use 개. It works for almost any general object. As you learn more Korean, you'll naturally pick up the more specific counters. For now, just remember this. First, what you're counting. Then, Korean numbers. Then, counter. That's the formula. 2개 사자. Let's buy 2. Maria and Jiwoo are buying ramen, which works fine with the general counter, 개. Each Korean lesson, you'll meet new counters. Soon you'll be counting people, animals, books, drinks, all with the precise Korean style. One counter at a time.
2개 산 거지?
2개야?
근데 진짜 매울 것 같아.
꽤 맵지. 이제 끓이자.
Did you catch all of that? Almost everything Maria and Jiwoo just said, you've already learned. That's the power of repetition. Korean conversations recycle the same phrases over and over. Once you know them, you'll hear them everywhere. But there are 3 new words here. Let's look at them. First, 근데. Maria says, 근데 진짜 매울 것 같아. But it really does look spicy. 근데 means but or by the way. It's the casual short form of 그런데. You'll hear 근데 constantly in Korean conversations, K-dramas, friends chatting. It's one of the most common connector words in everyday Korean. Use 그런데 in writing or formal situations. Use 근데 when you're chatting with friends, same meaning, different situation. Second, 끓이자. 끓이다 means to boil. Add 자 and you get 끓이자. Let's boil it. You already know cha from scene 1. Remember 같이 사자, let's buy together. Same pattern. Third, 이제, meaning now or by now. Jiwoo says, 이제 끓이자. Now let's boil it. We'll dive into 이제 at the convenience store in our next episode. Just remember it exists for now. We'll come back to this later. So, what do you think? How will Maria react? Here's something interesting about Buldak. The first bite often feels manageable, but then, a moment later, the heat hits hard. Koreans even have a phrase for it, 온다, meaning it's coming. So which will it be for Maria? A pleasant surprise or 온다? Maria's reaction continues in Lesson 1, Episode 2. Don't miss it.